Hey there, it's Lenny Magill with the GlockStore Performance and Custom Shop right here in San Diego, and thanks for joining me once again. And today I want to show you a new laser light combo that has just been introduced, and it's actually pretty neat. And there's a couple of neat features that are really, really cool. I've got it mounted already on this Glock 19, and then we're going to go ahead and show you how to mount it, same principle, onto this Glock 43. First and foremost, I want to make sure the gun is in fact empty, and it is. And you're going to notice that the light is kind of going on and off as I manipulate the gun, pull the trigger in a safe direction. Now, what's interesting about this particular light over many of the other lights that I've seen, is that it has an automatic on and off switch just by getting a grip. So if you notice, one, of course, the ergonomic design, how it looks and feels like it just, grew there, and that's how it's supposed to be. But if you look here, there's a little button under the grip. And every time you actually get up on the gun and get a grip, the light lights up and the laser lights up. So it's pretty darn interesting in the sense that this could be a very good self-defense light because you don't have to worry about turning it on. As soon as you get a grip, it goes on. Boom, a regular grip and it's on. And go into action. So there is no on-off switch. Now that could be problematic if you don't want it to be on, if it's daytime. So basically you come down here underneath and they've got a little override switch where you just flick that off. And now when you grab the gun, it doesn't go on. Makes sense, right? So the override switch is very tiny, kind of recessed right here on the bottom. And that's, like I said, that's kind of a neat self-defense gun where it's sitting on your counter. Pick it up, light is on, and it certainly does provide a strong light. So laser is already installed, and it's basically an automatic on switch, which I think is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and do a little assembly, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. So I'm going to go ahead and place this one aside. Now, one thing I do want to point out that's different on the 19 and the 17 models, they make the same model for the 19 and 17. It has a little clip kind of concept that clips onto the rail. So you can see how that actually fits in there like that. This piece actually grabs hold of the rail. It's a clamshell. We put it together, screw the screws down, and it sucks itself onto the rail. It holds itself down here. The on-off button is automatic right there. All right. It's a little different with the 43 because the 43 does not have a rail. So here's my 43. Again, first thing we're going to do is drop the magazine. It is unloaded. Pull the slide back, look inside there, make sure it's unloaded, pull the trigger in a safe direction. There's no ammunition in this room. There's no loaded magazines readily accessible to me, so I don't inadvertently load it. Always be aware that that's, something you kind of do automatically sometimes. So whenever you're working on guns, keep your ammo separate, really out of the same room is the best way. And no loaded magazines ever on the same table because it's just too easy to load it and rack it and go bang. All right, that said, now, there's my unloaded gun. I'll put this magazine off to the side, and here's the piece as it comes from the factory, from the box, basically. I've got it out already. It's a clamshell, like I said, and it's going to go together like so. All right, and let's see here. We'll go in here like this. And that's basically how it's going to fit. It's going to fit underneath the gun like that. This one has a little different placement on the on-off button right here. 3 screws come with it that you can obviously see how they go, and they just drop right in and they screw shut. It's pretty simple. Light laser is already there. There's a battery compartment right here. Battery is included. This is just one of your standard CR123 batteries, I believe. It looks like it is. It's a little lithium CR2 battery is what it is. Okay, so it's a little smaller than the standard CR123s, but it's a CR2 battery. It is included, like I said. Just slips in like you would expect it to. Positive, negative. A couple other things that come with it are your sighting in rods that allow you to adjust the laser position. But what I've noticed, I've already worked with a couple of these, it seems to be pretty dead on right out of the factory. I was pretty surprised that it just looked like it lined up with the sights. But you'll have to adjust that yourself, read the instructions on adjusting the windage and elevation. Not a big thing. Like I said, it's a self-defense gun. It's close up, so more than likely it's going to be fairly accurate right out of the box. We're going to put the battery side or the major side onto the gun first, and it's pretty simple. Just kind of get it lined up and and just go ahead and press it on here, and let's see if we can get it to lock in a little bit here. And there it is. It wants to slide over top of the trigger guard. This piece kind of wraps around, and that means I'm kind of seated in there. So the next part is just pretty simple. The only thing you have to do is put the tail in first, so you can kind of line the slot up. So I put that tail in first and then kind of come up here on top and squeeze it shut. And that's how it should look. So now let me go ahead and put my screws in, and they're pretty simple. I'll get them all lined up here, all three of them. And of course, whenever you're working with these kind of devices, we always want to use that lug nut principle, where we're going to kind of get in here and get it started. Come over here and do the next one and go kind of around the horn before we tighten them down too much. And I don't believe that we need to over tighten these. Come back around one more time. And I'm not to the tightening point yet, but really close. So really 2 or 3 more revolutions and that'll be it. And it's pretty tight right now. And that's about as tight as it needs to be without killing it or stripping it. And one last turn. Okay, that's the installation process. Pretty simple. This one, of course, there it is. Now it has the light laser automatic. When you go for the grip, boom, it's on. And that's a nice feature. So it's pretty darn bright, as you can see in the camera there. There's the laser, if you can see it dancing around on the lens. But again, I like it because as soon as you get on it, the light's on. You don't have to worry about turning it on. You can adjust this to be light only, laser only, or light and laser. And I like both concepts here, but let's see if that will work here like that. There's the light or laser only. Hold this button down. Light only. And one more time. Little strobe action. That's kind of fun, huh? All right. And last, hold it down, and it'll be light and laser. So it's really got 4 functions. And the strobe is a nice feature as well. But I tell you what, what's really cool about these things is this on-off switch. That's probably the best thing based upon it versus the competition. And it's a lot brighter than the other light that we offer that's 100 lumens. I've got to be honest, it really is. It is also available in a green laser. So there's a red, which I'm displaying right now, but there is a green laser available. It's going to be a little bit more expensive because green lasers are more expensive. And the other thing to keep in mind that we do make a special holster that will accommodate all your guns, either your 17, 19s, etc., or the 43, 42s, etc., that will actually take this particular light laser combo into a holster. So that's a special holster that we do offer with this as a package as well as a separate item. So if you're looking for a light laser, this may be one to consider. Again, it's got this really cool on-off feature that, really I think is neat because, again, in a self-defense situation, you may, not want to have to fumble with a light. If it's dark, you want that light on and see what's going on. You can always come off it a little bit just by taking your finger off a little bit of the grip. So it's a pretty neat feature, and I think it's something you may want to consider. This is the new light laser combo by Crimson Trace, and I am Lenny Magill. This is the GlockStore Performance and Custom Shop here in San Diego. If you're ever down in San Diego, I invite you to visit our shop, come in and shoot with us, because you know what? We can actually shoot in our range with the light lasers. We can turn the lights off, and you can go in there and identify targets that are good and bad and see which ones to shoot and see what really it feels like to not only turn the light and laser on, but to see the recoil and to see the gunpowder smoke and all the things that happen in a shooting situation. So many people have lights and they never really get to use them. But you can come to our range and you can test out some light laser and test yourself as you go through some of our live fire drills. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.